Hello, welcome to another edition of Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso, and you know what really sucks? So I just spent, the video I'm about to talk about right now, I just spent 22 minutes on it. I had to get rid of it because I don't know how to edit yet. And, I've been talking about editing since I started this damn channel. I screwed the story up. Actually, I missed some really, some important stuff. Anyway. In case I haven't said it, I'm your host, Robert Rosso. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. I appreciate all the support I'm getting. Somebody just informed me that I had over 900. I hadn't looked since this morning. I saw it and it was like, wow. I was at 901. Right now, just a second ago, I'm at 923. Man, you guys don't even know. It's just so crazy that this is it's moving pretty fast, and I really appreciate all the support I can get. Even you, former prison guard. Who said that I should to get a lawyer. I appreciate the comments. The guy said that I was a lame for keeping point on the rape thing, or not a lame. I forgot what he said. Punk, whatever. That's cool, man. I'm about freedom of speech. I don't really care. I'm going to keep them up, and it's cool, and I get it. Was it a punk move standing in front of, keeping point? Yeah, in a way, but probably at that point in my life, like I said in the last video, it wasn't, there was a weird feeling about it later. I might have got, and I kind of wrote back on that comment. If you guys want to check out the comment section of that last video, go for it. You just know what I'm talking about. Back then it was totally different, and white guys wouldn't have cared if somebody who was not running white and been warned to be out of the black TV room. Nobody cared. That's just how it was. And like I said, probably the most important thing that was missing maybe is like the guy wasn't all there mentally. It was like some kind of, that's like the saddest thing that well, the whole thing isn't right. I'm saying back then at those times. And somebody else wrote, no, I don't know what happened to the guy. I used to go in and out of the hole a lot. So I'd be here a minute, then I'd go to the hole. I'd be gone 60 days, come back. Things rotate. So I don't know what happened to him. The following day, and I'm referring to this last video, the following day, I think he stayed in his cell for a while, if that's what I remember. Anyway, I'm going to stick with the same theme. That's the rape theme. And this is a weird one because it has a mix of a sex offender. It has race in it. It has a ex-cop who's been accused of killing Biggie Smalls in it. It's a little crazy story. And I just thought of it, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this video out, maybe one more, but I put the hat on because I'm gonna keep the shirt, so we don't get the videos mixed up. Okay, anyway, convicted of life without parole, life without the possibility of release, I should say. 1998, went to Leavenworth, partied, joined a gang. Out-of-hand disciplinary case. Went to Lewisburg 2003, was running, started leading said gang, got bladder cancer. Then ended up in the Butner prison complex because of bladder cancer. Was at the FMC or the Butner hospital getting treated for almost a year. And then I got sent to Butner FCI 1. Butner FCI 1, as I've said before, was full of what I would consider less desirables. Snitches, gang dropouts, sex offenders, ex-cops, judges, people that just couldn't make it in general population, another prison. However, it was a really, really peaceful prison. And after I was there a little while, it was just just such a mellow prison, the vibe to it. Anybody who's spent any time there, and I don't care how tough you were or how bad of a convict you were or how this or that, you cannot help liking that prison. Once you're able to learn how to tune the others out or live amongst them because it's kind of their yard. But anyway. Okay, so 2009, that's what it was. This is when this took place. I had to remember it was 10. It was 2009. And the TV I used to watch, I had a view of cells. So there's the TV and behind them there's cells up on the tier. And how I sat, I can see kind of, this shape. seeing the cells all downstairs and upstairs, whatever. I was in Georgia Tech. One half had guys that were, pretty good guys or whatever. Some were waiting to go to RDAP. And on the other side was predominantly sex offenders. And sex offenders are divided into 3 categories: internet porn, hands-on child guys, and the ones that raped adults, mostly women rapists or whatever. And they're crewed up, they're clicked up. They'll hang out together, but they're like little gangs in themselves. You got the CHOMO, we all call them CHOMO, well, the child molesters, or the internet guys and the hands-on child sex offenders, or CHOMOs, child molesters. The other ones are just rapists. So, yeah, they got little cliques, little gangs. Also, most of them are homosexuals. And especially the guys that do the internet porn stuff, in child sex content, sexual exploitation material. Those guys would all say that they're misunderstood, just homosexual or whatever. That was a lot of excuse. I worked in the law library, so I got to hear it all. Took me a while to be able to sit down and listen and even overhear conversations because they talked freely. Okay, I'm getting off subject. All right. A lot of booze at Butner FCI won for a number of years up until 2010 when Associate Warden Deborah Gonzalez came and stopped a lot of shit. Guys drank a lot, and it was real common to drink on Sunday mornings. So guys would bring batches down on Sunday mornings. I only drank a few times there. I was clean at that facility. That's when I turned my life around. Doing a lot of writing, jailhouse lawyer work and stuff like that. Used to go out and watch videos every Sunday morning. And on this particular Sunday morning, there was a kid, and I'm going to say he's a kid. He was, I think he was like a mix of Indian from like India and white. Little fat kid. About 20 years old, and he was in for child pornography. And he used to go frequent a cell by a guy from DC and another guy from Virginia. And it was really common for guys who engaged in homosexual activity to have sexual relations with the sex offenders. I want to say different language, but I'm trying to be appropriate. So it was a common for a lot of guys that were not child molesters and to go have sex with those guys. So Georgia Tech actually was a real, come to think of it, there's like 50 child molesters on one side, or not child, just sex offenders in general on one side of the unit. So I used to see this little fat kid go upstairs to this cell. The guy from Virginia, I knew. He was kind of like a friend. Wow. I talked to him quite a bit, knew him. I knew that they were in some kind of relationship together because the guy would go upstairs and they'd put a towel over the door, and you know what's going on, especially at Butner 1, when, love was in the air, kind of steadily. It's sick. Anyway, so one Sunday morning, the Virginia guy and his friend were drinking, and this was probably starting at 6 a.m. Guys like to drink early on Sunday morning sometimes. I've been there, done that. I liked it too. And the little fat kid come hobbling up to the cell, and he was there for a minute. And then you hear a bunch of noise and commotion. Little fat kid comes running out of the cell. He wasn't screaming, but he was crying, and he went and ran over to the sex offender side of the unit. And there was 3 guys in that cell when the fat kid ran out. And you can see that other people started coming from other cells, and they were talking, and then all of a sudden here comes a little gang of CHOMOs. They go up to the cell and they're talking, and I see some other people, and it was like 4 or 5 black guys and like 6 CHOMOs. I didn't know if the CHOMOs were going to rush them or what was going to happen. And then Patrick Kajawa, Father Patrick Kajawa, formerly a Catholic priest, who I began associating with. He was a good friend of Joey Testis. Joey introduced me to him, and Kajawa was actually, I think it was an internet child porn case, but he had like a bad rape case, I'm sure, out of Louisiana that he had to go to. Anyway, this guy, he had access to a type ribbon. You know, that was the type ribbon connect in the prison. And I had a typewriter. When I got to Butner FCI 1, I went to the law library, took the typewriter, took one of the typewriters, walked across the compound, and left it in my cell for 3.5 years. Anybody that was a Butner with me will tell you that. I had it, and the staff never bothered it, not once. But I had to get ribbon and stuff for it, and it got expensive. I was typing a lot. Kajau was the guy. Anyway, he was also the shot caller for the CHOMOs. it's like it's hard to keep a straight face and say all this shit. So anyway, Kajau comes up to me and tells me, "Hey Rob, can I talk to you?" I forgot the little fat kid's name. He got raped by all 3 of those guys up there, something's got to be done. This can't happen, dare I say I didn't care? I don't want to. So I asked Kajau. I said, "Well, what do you expect me to? What do you want me to do? Is that's like they're like a couple or something, aren't they?" And he was then proceeded to tell me that it was getting out of hand. That a lot of the black guys were raping a lot of the child molesters. Man, listen, I don't even know. Can you imagine somebody coming up and telling you this stuff? Like, what do you say? Oh, damn, those black guys, they better stop me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, man. Wow, do I even post this video? I'm gonna roll with it. So I don't remember what he even expected me to do other than he was telling me about the situation because I damn sure wasn't going to get involved. Shortly thereafter came a guy who became my friend, the guy by the name of David Mack. Some of you guys might know who he is. And David Mack came and basically told me, "Rob, I saw you talking to Patrick. These guys upstairs are talking about riding against these child molesters, every one of which was white, even the Indian kid. Let's just call him white." So yeah, it's true. All the sex offender, the child molester guys they're white guys. So yeah, and David came and talked, and we got our laugh, kind of get a little laugh about it, So anyway, it wasn't long after that the staff came and took the 3 assailants or alleged assailants and the Indian, the little fat kid away. Now again, so in case I get confused, because I didn't realize the story's gonna be so hard on me because, honestly, like I want to speak prison speak, but I have a different audience and I'm trying to, I just want everybody to understand what I'm saying. And I'm trying to be sensitive to, a new world that I'm still learning how to adapt in. And it is a new world. Speech is different. Relationships are different. Racial things are different. So it's just different, And but this was, I mean, what do you do if you're me right now? And I'm talking to you. I'm not telling the story. I'm talking to you guys, to you subscribers out there. How do you tell a story like this? I don't keep it raw. That's cool. But I mean, it's, you're talking about child molesters and racial, it's just, wow, it's so anyway, here's what goes down. I brought this story up because of the rape factor, of course, and that we have a culture that's obsessed with hearing stories about guys getting raped in prison, this and that. And this was a case, like I said, where these guys were in a relationship, but guys get drunk with his buddies and they decide they're going to take it for whatever reason when he probably would have just gave it up. I don't know what happened up there. Obviously something, because the guy was crying and he didn't, I don't know. I don't know what they did normally, but so they get locked up, and the guy from Virginia used to go to the rec cage every day, and I walk every day, and he tried to get me involved. "Hey Rob, listen, I just wanted to tell you, man, I didn't take nothing." Dude gave it up, but then he cried, and I'm like, okay, cool, like I don't want to hear this. Bottom line, he was saying that there was no rape, that there was a consensual act of sex, and I don't remember why he was saying the guy ran out of the cell crying, nor did I care. And if that's insensitive, I'm just being honest. A lot of these stories I tell might have had things that aren't cool. I might have done things such as keep point, like the last story. Not necessarily the nicest thing in the world to do, but these are just prison stories that I'm reflecting on, recanting to you guys. Or this whole video kind of has me thrown off a little bit, to be honest. But I'm going to go for it and see where it goes. I think I'm just going to upload it after I'm done and not even look back and check it, which half the time I do. Okay, so they let all of them out of the hole with no charges. And here's the point. So for sure, this guy got raped, okay? 100% for sure. The little fat kid was raped. He was. Staff would rather have that fat kid lie and recant and say it never happened, which is what he did. I later was told that he wanted out of the hole, and he was threatened with more hole time. It was going to be a 90-day investigation unless he said that it didn't happen, and that's what he did. And he got let back out of the hole, and so did the other guys. In the same night, 2 of the guys went back and raped the kid again. And I know that happened. I saw it. Like I said, it was the cells were up. Other people knew it happened. But after that, a couple weeks later, like they were like a couple again. Or yeah, crazy stuff, right? There is now, the feds have something called PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act, I think it's called. They got a hotline, so when people are raped or if you're scared or whatever, you get to call this PREA line. To be honest, this has never affected me, so I don't know how well PREA is being used. I take that back. So I have a prison consulting business, so if there's somebody that would call in and ask about that, of course I would give them more detail about PREA and the steps I could take. I'm talking about me personally, where I've never, had to deal with any of that. And I guess this story really didn't have it's kind of flat the whole way. It didn't really have a peak and an ending. So I'm going to go back and look and see if I'm going to post this at all. Kind of fell flat, to be honest, because I was just thinking about that whole story and how crazy that was. And I remember David Mack, telling me that, Rob, don't get involved with this. So I guess that's a point too. So normally this would be like a racial issue because there was black and white perpetrators were obviously black, and the other, you got all the chomos or what. And that's just something I couldn't get involved in. I didn't really want to be in prison politics in Butner anyway, and there wasn't many, but that was just something. And yeah, man, that was definitely something to witness. And there was actually several rapes in the Butner facility when I was there. And again, prison staff, they just want to turn their heads. They just want to pretend it doesn't hear, because they don't want to open themselves up to rape. They don't want the public to hear about it. And if you think that's good, bad, or whatever, because they're sex offenders also, that's another issue. Do we care that sex offenders are getting raped, or if they get raped in prison? A lot of people would like say, no, good, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that would say that, and then there's others. They got a big advocacy group. A lot of the sex offenders have a lot of money behind them, believe it or not. Anyway, let's see if I'm going to post it. Take care.